Hello my dudes, and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. If you're new here, I'm Evan, and I knit things and read books and other stuff. And if you're a regular, welcome back. I'm so glad you're all here. Today I have for you podcast episode number 10 in our 2026 podcast series. Today for me is Thursday, May 21st. I have a ton of stuff to show you, like a lot of stuff. I have a bunch of finished objects, I have a bunch of whips, a lot of which are new, and I've got quite a few acquisitions since it was my birthday. So, let's jump right in. Finished objects. I have four finished objects. First one, this is the If You Knit You Know hat by Purl Soho. The yarn, the blue is from Asylum Fibers, the colorway is Ultramarine, and this is their DK base, and the green for the writing is from Wool and Vinyl, and that colorway is Limelight. It's also their DK base, just the Merino DK. I finished this the week before last, because if we'd had a podcast episode last week, this still would have been finished. Modifications I made. I went down quite a few needle sizes. Let me just look and see if I wrote down what needle size I actually used. I think it was a 2.75 millimeter. But I do not entirely remember. No, I did not write it down. I have gotten quite lax in my project notes in my notebook there. Like, unless it's a sweater and it's something modifying that I need to do the same thing on the other side, I don't write it down anymore. But anyway, I also added a little length to the hat, and then I believe in the decreases, I made the decreases a little bit faster at the very top. Like, you start the decreases and you do them every other row, and then I think for the last few I did them without a knit row in between. But looks really good. I like it a lot. And now it's almost June, and it is not time to wear it at all. So, it's fine. Okay. So, that's the hat. First object. Second one, I said last time that I wanted to start some DK weight socks, and I did, and I finished them. This pattern is vaguely the Thickmas Vanilla Socks by Summer Lee. I cast on, well, basically I just used her sizing for the heel turn, because I can never remember the formula for a heel flap and gusset myself. So I ended up casting on 46 stitches, doing 1 by 1 ribbing, then decreasing to 40 stitches by the time we hit the heel, then heel flap and gusset, and then regular foot and toe. This yarn is from Hobie. It's 2 of their self-striping sock yarns held together. Like, the 2 look almost exactly the same, but you can see they're ever so slightly different. This is not an endorsement of Hobie. Do not buy from them if you hate Gen AI, like I do. And if you don't, I don't know why you're still here, since I talk about hating it all the time. don't use Gen AI. Okay? Anyway, socks. It was a super quick, easy project that I did not have to use my brain for at all, which is exactly what I was looking for at that time. So, those are finished. Okay. Third, on my birthday, I wanted to cast on something. And I wanted to cast on something with my hand spun because that seemed special enough for my birthday. So I actually cast on two things. But the first one was this. This is the Emotional Support Little Chickie by Annette Corsino. Yarn is my hand spun. It is 100% Targy. Like, he looks all just orange, but then we got into the rainbows on his bottom there. But he's very cute. I can definitely see myself making more of these in the future. I do think I messed up the seaming a bit, but not enough to do anything about it or attempt to fix it in any way. I didn't love this pattern, how it was written. Very little instruction. I would have really appreciated some more instruction in the seaming rather than just seam it. Like they tell you where this side of the point goes, but not where this side of the point goes, and yeah, I don't know. It's fine. He's a very cute little dude, and it matters very little. I did actually cast something else on with my hand spun, but that's still a work in progress, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But there's my little Chickie. He's so cute. Okay, now, the final work in progress. I did finish the random Scrappy Sweet Shop blanket. So if you want to still be surprised with the videos coming out, then skip ahead to whips so you don't have spoilers, okay? If you want to watch from the beginning, it's linked here with the playlist. But yeah, it's finished. The Sweet Shop blanket is a pattern by Laura Penrose. For this project, I used size 6 needles for the entire thing, and I used all fingering weight yarn scraps held double. So many of them. I made 187 squares, so the blanket ended up being 11 by 17. And then I did an I-cord border around the whole thing. So, here's the video of the finished blanket, because it's entirely too big to hold it up. There it is. All finished. Lucy is supervising, obviously. It is the end of an era. I started the blanket in September of last year and finished it on May 15th. I'm so glad it's done. And I have started a new scrap project with dice that I will talk about. We'll talk about that last in whips in case somebody wants to skip so they don't have spoilers. But yeah, it's still going to be a bit before the final episodes for that come out, since I did a lot of things all at once for that. So let's jump into whips. Let me see if there's any whips that you guys have actually seen there's 3 whips you guys have actually seen. So, and then 2 new cast-ons. So, we'll start with cross stitch like always. Working on Charizard. Hold on, let me move my yarn. Or my floss to the back here. Okay, here's what Charizard's looking like right now. I have not worked on this very much at all. I did have more issues with this wingtip. At this point, if it's not right, I don't care. I'm just gonna fudge it. Yeah. I went to do this red here, and it didn't line up. I honestly cannot even tell you what the issue was at this point, except that I'm over it. I don't even care anymore. I don't care. I will fudge it. I don't care. So I'm working on this second blue in the wing here. So I think most of this gets filled in with this blue and then in here. And then we'll get to the actual like colors that you think of when you think about Charizard. But that's that. Okay. Let's do this one next. Oh, I have a new Purl Soho sample. It's here. I have encountered a problem with the pattern, so I have to wait for instruction from my boss. I'm going on vacation on June 2nd, so I'm kind of hoping to finish this before then, just so it's off my plate and I don't have to think about it. But it's one semi-large thing that's due June 20th, I think. So I don't have to finish it before I go, but I kind of want to, just so it's off my brain. And if that's the case, that'll be like all I work on this week, but whatever. Okay, now this. You guys saw my swatch for this, but I did actually cast it on finally. This is the Best Dressed Vest by Ashley R. Adams. It's a vest slash slip over in half fisherman's rib, and I am knitting it up in Sinful Yarns. The colorway is Burnt Copper, and it's 100% merino fingering weight. It's super soft. But this is the back panel. That's it. I am halfway done with the back panel. This is not very exciting. Was I just showing you the back? I was. I'm sorry. That's the front. So, that's it. Not very exciting. This is not really getting worked on right now. But it's on my Make 9, so I wanted to have it cast on. Oh, I forgot to say that the hat was also on my Make 9, the one I finished. Let me see. Okay. Let's talk about my iris sweater. The iris sweater is a pattern by Trin, Annelie. Yarn I am using is from Knitting for Olive. I'm using a whole bunch of colors. Last time you guys saw it, I was about halfway through the chart. Here's how far I was before I started over 2 nights ago. So, look at this picture. Do you see how the color work in those little heart looking areas is like super loose and wonky and looks awful. And then this is what it looked like after I steam blocked it. So like it did look a little bit better, but not better enough for that being right here, directly below the collar in the very front of the sweater. So I went to just rip back before that, but then it's the same like up here on the shoulder. And here's the thing, the neckline is steeked, and I had already steeked it and done the collar. So I ripped back as far as I could, and I undid the collar and reclaimed all of that yarn, and then had to throw the rest away. Because I knew it was going to bother me, and I knew I would never wear it if the color work looked like that. And basically what I needed to do was to either go down a needle size, which I don't really want to do because I like how it looks when there's no float trapping, or I need to do just a little ladder back jacquard in that section, which I still needed to have started over to do. So, and then I realized that like when I was thinking about this project, and I was like, okay, the steeks won't bother me because the collar steek, you then knit the collar around it and it's fully enclosed. And I don't know why I assumed that it would be the same for the sleeves. It literally can't be. You can't enclose the steek for the sleeve steek because you're not knitting a folded over thing. Like the folded over collar encases the steek so you don't feel the steek ever, but you can't do that with the sleeves. So it would have been right here. It probably would have driven me insane. So I have started over this project, and I am extraordinarily heavily modifying it now because I am not knitting it in one piece in the round. I'm not going to steek it. I'm knitting the top flat and then I'll knit at the bottom in the round. So this is involving a whole lot of thinking on my behalf to follow the instructions, but different. So this is the back panel that I have cast on and knit like 3 rounds of color work. You can see there's the little bit of color work. Yeah. So we've started over after having like that much work in a fingering weight color work sweater. But I did recast it on immediately so it wouldn't like sit in no man's land forever. Hold on. Let me put a stitch marker for where I was on both of these projects so I don't forget. Okay, that's enough of that. Other birthday cast on. So after I finished the little Chickie, I used my same hand spun and I cast on, like, look at that. Isn't that incredible? I made that yarn. This was, again, 100% Targhee. It's from Feederbrook Farms. And I cast on a Jaunty. Ignore that marker, it's just marking the front. But look at it, it's so beautiful! Now, okay, let me just say my piece about Andrea Mowry here. I do not like Andrea Mowry's sweater patterns because I do not think they are very size inclusive. The numbers say they are size inclusive, but they do not fit size inclusively. I have never had an Andrea Mowry sweater fit me properly, and I am like a middle of the road size for size inclusivity. I have a 40-inch bust. Like, that's not too big to grade for. It's not even complicated. I usually wear large in things. That's a regular size. So for something to not even fit right for that, I dislike. However, I do like Andrea Mowry accessory patterns. I think she really shines in shawls. The only shawls I ever wear, of the many that I've knit, are actually Andrea Mowry shawls. So, you probably will not see any Andrea Mowry sweaters here, but you will see accessories. Anyway, I am modifying this Jaunty quite a bit. I have seen Rachel from Rachel is Knitting knit about 300 of these, so I knew already that I wanted to have more rows in between the increase rounds. This is also in half fisherman's rib, so you increase 2 stitches at a time when you're increasing, and it gets kind of chunky pretty quickly. I wanted a thinner one, so I don't remember how often the pattern tells you to increase, but I'm increasing every 12 rows. And I also really disliked the beginning of this, like you just cast on and go, and then you have this like flat edge that's gross that I didn't like at all. So I used the cast on for the Simple Thing by Melina Brell. It's an I-cord tab cast on, and I think it just looks much nicer. It does take some serious brain power the first time or so that you need to do it, but I've done it enough times now that I've figured it out. But this is the most beautiful thing I am making ever in my life. It's gorgeous. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm incredible because I made this yarn and I'm making this shawl. If you have not knit something with yarn that you have made yourself, I don't even know how to describe the feeling, but it's amazing. It's so good. So I did spin a little bit this week also, but not enough that you can like see that I did anything. So I didn't take a picture or anything. And we're still not going to have a spinning section today because it was like, oh look, I spun for an hour. And I'm really slow, so an hour is not a lot. But seriously, look at this. Look at it. Look at those colors. Okay, sorry, catch me never shutting up about this ever. But yeah, love this. Okay, I have one more whip to talk to you guys about. This is the new content whip. It is another Scrappy project. So if you don't want to see it before any of it gets released, skip ahead to acquisitions, okay? Last chance. Okay, so I decided to cast on the Field Day jacket by Ozetta. I have knit the Field Day sweater, or the Field Day cardigan, and I wear it all the time. However, I needed something worsted weight, so I cast on the Field Day jacket. It's basically the same, just in worsted weight, and it's longer. So yarn I am using for this, I actually acquired from Rachel. This was her Advent project several years ago. The yarn, not the actual pattern. And and it just gave her no end of problems. And I understand, because I knit the same Advent project that same year, and I also unraveled it because it gave me no end of problems. But anyway, this yarn I acquired from her. The main color is this, oh here, this from Long Dog Yarn. This is the Merino DK, and the colorway is Gandalf Whoopsie. I don't know if Whoopsie means one of a kind, or like it was a seconds, or if the colorway is actually called Gandalf Whoopsie, or if the colorway is just Gandalf and these are Whoopsie skeins. But anyway, so I'm holding this DK weight with where is it? Do I not have any in here? I suppose not. Interesting. Anyway, I'm holding that with fingering weight from an Advent calendar that she had. She sent me the project that was like a full vest type deal. I unraveled the whole thing, and I'm using the same yarn together for this project instead. So we're calling it the Reclaimed Field Day Jacket because I reclaimed the yarn, and the Advent skeins are all fingering weight minis. I have varying amounts of each, and we're rolling a die to decide which color to hold with the Gandalf for however many rows. We're also rolling for rows. So I have finished the back panel here, and we have picked up the two front panels. Like, it is like kind of impossible to get how cool this looks to show up on camera. Like, in the viewfinder it looks good. Like, that's what it looks like. But I can't seem to get it to show up on my phone. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this project. I don't remember where the Advent is from, and I do not feel like scouring several years of Vlogmas videos to find out. So, sorry. You'll survive. So yeah, that's the next content project. Once all of the Sweet Shop Blanket videos are out, the videos for this will start. I'm obviously quite advanced into it, so those are going to be coming out very far past when they're being filmed. But you know what? I don't care. You want to see real time? Watch the podcast. Okay, that's all the whips. Let's talk acquisitions. I have a decent number of them because it was my birthday. So I received yarn as a gift for my birthday. I received money that I used for yarn for my birthday. And the my Treehouse Knits Outlander order should be shipping soon. The final day was yesterday or the day before, but from my understanding they had some issues with the fiber, and of course I ordered fiber, so I have to wait a little bit longer. Okay, the yarn I received as a gift is Treehouse Knits Basalt in the Yak Silk fingering base. I actually have a couple skeins of Basalt on DK, but this, look at that drape, like look at that, oh man, this feels incredible. I really wish that I had more than one skein, because I don't know what to do with this as one skein, but it's really nice. So, got that. And then Fiona from Fiona K Knits happened to be doing an in-stock drop like the day before my birthday. So I picked up 2 skeins of Nevermore on her Outlaw DK base. I have 2 more skeins, so now I have 4 skeins of this. And I think I'm going to make a striped sweater with some other skeins of DK that I have. And it's going to be incredible. Look at that blue. How do you make a dark blue this dark but with that much dimension? I will never understand how she does this magic. But Fiona is incredibly magical. And then I also picked up, this is on her Neon Sparkle Tweed base that she doesn't have often, but when she does, it is magical. The tweed bits are like neon orange and green, and the yarn is a sparkle base. And this was a random one of a kind, but let me see if I can get those sparkles to pick up. Do you see the sparkles? Look at it. So I think this will be a hat or like a little scarfy shawl, like another simple thing or something. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's incredible. Fiona's amazing. And then a few days after that, Katie of Claws Out Yarn Co. went through all of her leftovers from the Dancing Queen collection and posted those. So I got 1 skein of Waterloo on Feline Sock and 1 skein of Super Trooper on DK. I'm not sure what I'll do with this. Maybe a hat. Because I really like this color. It's really fun. It reminds me of Saltwater Taffy. But this, I think, is going to go with my blue-green gradient for a sweater that I've been planning for a while. It fits in really well. So, that's all the acquisitions. That just leaves books. So the last time we chatted was May 7th. So books I have finished since May 7th. You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. 4.5 stars. I really liked this one, but it was kind of hard for me at points because it largely revolves around this woman and her autistic son, and that was hard for me. But C.G. Drews, her writing is so gorgeous. Like, it's horrific, but it is so gorgeous. She's amazing. And then The Book of Blood and Roses by Annie Summer-Lee, 3.5 stars. It was fine. I wanted more, but it was fine. It was like, we're trying to do too many things in one book. Like, we could have picked half the number of things and, like, delved more into them. And then An Indigenous People's History of the United States by Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz should be required reading, 5 stars. Death and Other Occupational Hazards by Veronica Dapunt. This one was so fun. I really liked that one a lot. Asteria by Rachel Lee. Oh my gosh. I got this as an ARC. It comes out on May 27th. Wow. Wow, wow. Wow. I'm a little upset I got it as an ARC since now I have to wait even longer for book 2. But wow, I'll have a whole review video coming out later this week. And then I finished Fallen City by Adrienne Young. 4 stars. There was absolutely nothing wrong with this book except that it wasn't the vibe I wanted right now. That's what happens when you're a mood reader. And then currently reading, Brett and I are reading This Inevitable Ruin by Matt Dinneman. That's Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 7. I'm also reading Heir of Blood and Moonlight by Lindsay Sparks. I will probably be reading that forever because it's kind of 100% just smut trash that I happen to read on my phone when I can't sleep at night sometimes. And then I'm reading A Bargain with the Darkseer by Alexandra E. Parker. That's an arc that the book is now out. There wasn't a deadline for this arc, but I really want to finish it. But it's really long. And then this morning I started The Book Witch by Meg Schaefer. I'm only like 2 chapters in, but it looks like it's going to be really fun. So, I think that's all the things. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, announcement. I finally remembered to actually start the EvanKnitsThings Bookclub over on Fable. There's a link in the description box below. You can join it. We have not yet decided what to read for June. I think we have 4 members right now. So, if you want to join a book club on Fable, do it, man. Open to any and all genres. Yeah, so check that out. It's gonna be like super duper duper low key. Like, you don't read the book, I don't care, it's fine. No big deal. But you can chat about it on Fable, and I like Fable a lot because it also gives you like trigger warnings for books and things. I like it better than Goodreads, quite a bit. Anyway, if you feel like supporting the podcast in a different way, there is a link to my Ravelry wish list down in the description box as well. I'm trying to figure out if there's somewhere that I can put a book wish list that isn't Amazon, but I don't know. We'll see. I have a local bookstore. Maybe I'll see if they have a wish list function for their online shop. Anyway, thanks for being here. I love you all so much. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes last week and all the well wishes about my foot. Yeah, click that notification bell if you would like to be notified of my next upload, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.